Okay, I have been muted this whole time. I apologize. That's my bad. So anyway, welcome to the Pop Culture Blabber YouTube channel. Okay, I have been Thank you for being here. So today we're just gonna kind of go over week 5 of the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard defamation trial. I also just read something on Radar Online that I kind of wanted to share with you guys. It says exclusive: Amber Heard set to call Johnny Depp to stand for the second time. So it looks like, so what they wrote on their Instagram basically just says is Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's $50 million defamation trial approaches its 6th week. Radar exclusively learned from the Aquaman actress's legal team will be exclusively learned the Aquaman actress's legal team will be calling the Pirates of the Caribbean alum back to the stand. Depp initially filed a lawsuit against his ex-wife back in 2019 after she penned a provocative 2018 op-ed for the Washington Post, claiming she was the victim of domestic and SV. The actor alleged the piece destroyed his reputation, both personally and professionally. Heard is countersuing her estranged ex for $100 million. Heard's attorneys are set to call Depp to the stand for the second time on Monday, May 23rd, according to the source. So Radar is claiming that this is an exclusive that they have, that Amber's team is going to be calling Johnny Depp back to the stand. And that's happening apparently tomorrow, Monday, May 23rd. So, all right. So the first thing I kind of wanted to do, so I actually had to end last night's live a little bit abruptly. I apologize about that, but I kind of wanted to finish off Amber's cross examination video that we were watching. We're about 54 minutes into it. It's about an hour and 38, so it's about, like, let's say 40 minutes left. I'll try to skip through some of it because I do want to go through Amber Heard's her sister Whitney. She testified. I want to kind of watch her testimony, go over that, give commentary on that, and also actress Ellen Barkin. Is that her name? Ellen Barkin? Yeah, I believe so. She testified, and I mean, let's just say she has no love for Johnny Depp, period. So yeah, that'll be interesting to watch and kind of just react to live. And also at some point, I do want you guys to come up on the screen, share your thoughts, share your opinions. Let's have a discussion. I would love that. So I will drop the link later in the chat, and then you guys can come up and we can do that. So if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything that we have coming up here on the channel. All right. So the first thing, we're going to continue with the Amber Heard cross-examination. And we were, okay, 54 minutes into it. So let's see here. All right, can you guys see that? Okay, cool. Hold on. Let me just do this so that I can see it better as well. Perfect. And now I can see. All right. So this is where we resumed yesterday. Again, I will mute myself and I will also take myself off the camera sometimes. No big deal. I'm here this entire time. So please, let's get the chat going. Let's keep it lively and let's have some fun with this. And yeah, here we go. But we're continuing Amber Heard's cross-examination.
Plaintiff Exhibit 1280.
Ms. Heard, did you send a text message to Jerry Judge on May 24, 2016, telling Jerry Judge, quote, "I'm desperately trying to reach Johnny. It's extremely important. Please tell him."
I remember
sending a text message that is in front of me right now to Jerry. And I remember sending this because I wanted to tell Johnny or have him told by Jerry or someone who knew him or was close to him. Basically, I didn't want him to find out online that I had or was about to file, or I had already filed for divorce. I wanted him to know verbally. So I was trying to reach him through a third party to tell him. When I say reach, I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information coming from me, coming from Jerry to me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so.
So much of what she says like contradicts itself. The story just doesn't add up.
You slipped up there, didn't you, Miss Heard? You let it slip out that TMZ had been alerted to your filing of the domestic violence.
Yeah, she did.
Didn't you?
I disagree. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay.
The same outlet that you released the video of Mr. Depp attacking the kitchen cabinets.
Okay, no, I'm going to pause there because that was an important moment. Should I rewind this so we can watch it again? She literally, you can see her, like she realizes, she says like, oh, it was given to TMZ. And then she realizes what she said and that she shouldn't have said it. And yeah, I mean, okay, let's just continue.
Day before this deposition was taken, wasn't it?
I didn't do that. I don't
TMZ
know how
owns
to do
the
that.
copyright to that video now, doesn't it?
I have no idea.
Yeah, they
Did
do.
they pay you for that?
I never got paid for it because I had nothing to do with that.
So TMZ was just lucky in getting the inside scoop to your divorce from Mr. Depp, huh?
I have no idea. That's not my area of expertise. I wouldn't even know how to do that. And also, what does that get me? If I wanted to leak things about Johnny, I could have done that in a much more successful way, in a bigger way, for years.
Not when you were extorting him for $7 million.
I got a fraction of what I was entitled to in the state of California, by the way. What extortion?
Tassa Van Reeves, your ex-wife, right?
That's right. She's my ex-partner.
She's the one that you told this jury Mr. Depp was jealous of, right?
Yeah, well, that was 2013 fights around March, yes.
You testified that he tried to burn one of her paintings, right?
That's correct.
You testified he tried to burn one of your favorite paintings that she did, right?
I don't know if it was one of my favorites.
So Camille is getting
Committed domestic
into
violence against Miss Van Reed during your relationship, didn't you?
Amber Heard's
No, I did not.
ex-wife.
Assaulted her at a Seattle airport in 2009, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Yeah, she did.
And people saw that,
Allegedly.
That's not true.
and it was covered in the press. Isn't that true?
It was planted in the press by Johnny's team 2 days after I got the TRO. Not
Can you
coincidentally.
please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1279?
And they're going to approach again. As I've been saying, and if you guys have been watching these videos, these lives that I've been doing, like there's a lot in court. There's just so much like time. I don't want to call it's not downtime, but I call it quiet time. It's like just time where they approach the judge or they, I don't know, just doing random things. It's just a lot of stuff.
Please have an article displayed for the witness.
There's a lot going on.
This is an article from 2 years ago, correct, Ms. Heard?
I don't know when this
May of
was.
2020.
That's not when it came out, no. This story started getting planted after I got a TRO, after I got a restraining order against Johnny.
The headline says, Amber Heard allegedly struck.
Objection, Your Honor. I think Your Honor ruled she can't say that. If you want to approach me.
Oh, there they go. They're approaching again. There they go. And again, quiet time. Like a lot of court quiet time. Look at Amber. She's just so like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I know I'm a little biased because I don't like her, and I'm trying to give her a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because you never know, right? And these
The title
types
reads,
of
Amber
things,
Heard allegedly grabbed,
you just don't.
struck her ex-girlfriend at the airport. doesn't it?
Yes, and that's not true.
May we approach?
Okay.
And again, they're approaching, and more downtime, not downtime, quiet time, whatever you want to call it, in the court. I don't know. It's just a lot. Like, a lot of this is just very. Let's try to kind of get through some of this. So.
Start over.
Okay.
The title is.
Okay. All right, here they go. They're going back.
So the article, the title is Amber Heard allegedly struck her ex-girlfriend.
No, overruled. Go ahead.
Thank you. If I may start over. Amber Heard allegedly struck her ex-girlfriend Tassa Van Ree at the airport in 2009.
I love
Did I read that right?
Yes, this is another example of the smear campaign.
So Mr. Depp is not the only domestic partner you've assaulted, is he, Ms. Heard?
I've never assaulted Mr. Depp or anyone else that I've been romantically linked to, ever.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, cross-examination. I'm sorry, redirect.
Oh, wow.
Did Ms.
Cross
Van
is
Rey
over.
come out after that article came in and make a public statement it was false?
Of course I do.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I should be at least be.
Overruled.
Thank you.
Camille's
she did.
killing it. Camille's doing an amazing
Yeah.
job.
Let's talk about the TMZ alerted. Explain to the jury what you meant by the TMZ was alerted.
So when you make these kind of filings, meaning divorce, marriage, things like that, they are public record. And so when we filed for divorce, when I filed for divorce, I asked my team to file in the most discreet way, literally to put it under a stack of papers and file it at the end of day. So it kind of had more of a shot of being missed by the paparazzi.
Again, she's looking at the jury. Wait, like,
Publicity.
I don't know,
outlets.
way too much. Just
I
every,
believe
literally
that we've
every
been
word she
remarkably
says,
lucky
she turns over to
following
the
divorce
jury,
that
and
it
it's just
wasn't
like,
picked up.
honey,
And
what are
that
you
it gave
doing?
me a
Stop! It's really
precious
not a
few
good look,
days,
and a lot of the times,
of peace
Well,
at that really
listen to her
fragile
right now.
time. When I found out that they were going to run the story or that they had the information, I was trying to get a hold of Johnny to clarify that I did not do this in a punitive way. I didn't want him to be mad at me. I didn't want him to find out in that sort of context online.
And who
Okay.
had connections to TMZ?
Objection calls for speculation.
Do you know?
Yep.
I do know Johnny
Your Honor.
mentioned spoke about
Your
it.
Honor, calls for
Sustain
speculation.
the objection.
Did Mr. Depp tell you
Yep,
about
Camille's
who
right.
had connections with TMZ?
Yes, we talked about it. His lawyer, Laura Wasser.
Okay. Now, I'm going to start at the very beginning here. You were asked by Ms. Vasquez about why Mr. Depp won't or can't look you in the eye. And she read out, or she played a tape in which Mr. Depp said, "You will not see my eyes again." Do you recall that?
I do.
And that was during the mediation process in July, correct?
That was
Objection
the
leading.
first one.
Sustain the leading.
When was this?
That was in July of 2016. That was the first mediation attempt. We met after that, and Johnny very much looked me in the eye.
Please tell the jury about the next meeting after he said, "You will not see my eyes again."
We met in the lawyer's office. They gave us a moment. Johnny kissed me again, held me. I cried, he cried, and then we had a short exchange, and he put a note in my pocket that said, "I'll love you dead or alive, my slim," with his new phone number on it.
I'd like to bring up, Michelle, if you can, Defendant's Exhibit 1581L.
again, more quiet time, quote unquote quiet time. You know what I mean?
Do you recognize this?
Objection, Your Honor. May we approach?
Camille, she's gonna object to everything. She is. She's gonna object to everything, and it's gonna be amazing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like the cross, Camille killed it. She killed it. She asked the right questions. She was very assertive without being without coming off as like aggressive or anything like that. She was definitely very assertive of her, she knew what she was there to do. She had a job to do. She executed that job and she did it very, very well. So kudos to her. Great job, Camille Vasquez. Like she killed it. She did. She killed the cross exam. And there they are coming back from approaching.
Could you tell the jury what the coaster was that he slipped into your pocket, what it said?
He said, "I love you forever, my Slim, dead or alive."
And what, if anything, did it have in addition?
His new phone number.
And to be, just so we're clear, on how many occasions in that second mediation did Mr. Depp look you in the eye?
Many.
Okay. And when Ms. Vasquez asked you if you knew why Mr. Depp couldn't or wouldn't look you in the eye here or in the UK, you said, yes, you know. Why? Please tell the jury.
I don't like this line of questioning. Like, what?
He's guilty. He knows he's lying. Otherwise, why can't he look at me? I survived. I survived that man, and I'm here, and I'm able to look at him.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Oh my God. I hate to keep saying the same thing, but she's so infuriating. And the way she just did that and then stared at him, like, honey, you're not that great of an actress. Like, you're just not. Good luck getting I don't know. Good luck getting jobs after this. I don't like that. That was ugh.
You were asked about a bruise that was on your arm from March 15, 2013. Do you recall how long before the picture you had sustained that bruise?
I do.
How long?
2 weeks.
You were asked a number of times by Ms. Vasquez if you took pictures
By Miss
from
Vasquez.
your incidents earlier in the relationship.
Shut up, Elaine.
Yes.
Why didn't you?
It was something I started doing only kind of incidentally. I was commenting to my best friend. I was looking for support from my mom, things like that. There was,
Okay.
I'm ashamed to say, never a thought that this would happen. I mean, not until December, and my best friend taking pictures of me to capture it. That wasn't even a thing.
It has been suggested by Ms. Vasquez to you in your questions that you didn't tell anyone about the abuse until the TRO. Is that true?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
All right. What if any? All right. Who did you tell about the abuse during the time it was happening?
Objection, Your Honor,
That's
leading
not up for
and hearsay.
Sustained.
Your Honor, it's prior consistent statements.
It's
that
leading,
raised
it's
it.
sustained. Next question.
Okay.
Ooh.
What, if anything, did you tell to
I like
anyone
that.
about the abuse?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Sustained
Your Honor,
objection.
Your Honor, may I approach
That's
this?
fine.
I'm sorry. This, I love it. Again, Camille Vasquez is on her game. She is on her game. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's saying. She knows how to do her job. She knows what she's talking about. Like, and it's getting under Amber's skin. You can tell she's getting pissed. She's getting pissed. But you know what? Like, get pissed. Like, okay, and you know what I mean? Like, you want to get pissed? Great, but tell a story that makes sense. Tell a story that we can follow. Tell a story that maybe we can believe. Because honestly, Amber Heard, I don't believe you. I just don't. You can say whatever you want. You can say this happened, that happened, whatever. I don't believe you. I just don't believe you. You're not believable. You're just not. I'm sorry. And if that hurts your, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, no one cares. Like, get over it. She's just not a believable person. And so far, during her entire testimony and then her cross and now her redirect, she's just been very, like, what is the right word that I'm looking for? She's just been very fake. Very fake. You can tell it's fake. They're coming back. It is what it is.
Ms. Heard, how many people have you shared the fact of abuse prior to 2015?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
How
Calls for
many?
hearsay.
How many?
Overruled.
She's going to object to everything, and I love it.
Roughly about 10.
Can you name them?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
I think she can.
Another objection.
Just show that she informed people before. There's
Objection, Your Honor. Can we approach? This is, again, inappropriate.
Oh my God. So Camila has had enough of this. She's just like, seriously, like, come on. Like, we need to approach because this is getting ridiculous. Elaine is clearly not listening. She's just kind of doing whatever the hell she wants. I don't know. To me, so far from what I've seen in this trial, Elaine, I don't recall her last name right now. I will get it for the next live that we'll probably do later tonight. But yeah, she's just a bad lawyer, I think. Sorry.
Now, you were asked whether you had consulted a medical doctor about any problems with your
Johnny's
nose,
like, I'm
correct?
so
That's
tired
correct.
of all
And you
this.
indicated.
And
that
there are the
you
rings.
had after the divorce, correct?
Objection, leading.
Did you or did you not consult an ENT after the divorce?
I
Objection,
did.
leading.
Did you produce medical records to the defendants relating to this?
Objection, leading.
Objection, objection,
Thank
objection.
you.
Leading. Next
Your
question.
Honor, we could,
Let's-
the witness could be instructed not to answer until
All
I
right.
lodge my objection.
Wait for the objection, please.
Could we bring up
Look at
defendants
Amber.
exhibit
She's so
1077?
pissed.
Do you recognize this
Wow.
document?
My screen is black.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I do.
And could you tell us what it is?
That's what my ENT, the ears, nose, and throat doctor, told me was.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
damage.
All right, when there's objection, please stop. Sorry, thank you.
Objection,
Objection.
objection, objection. And Amber, stop talking when there's an objection.
Uh, What, if any, you were asked if you had, it was suggested that you had not produced this in discovery. Is that true? or false?
Objection, Your Honor.
Your
Leading.
Honor,
and-
she
So
absolutely did that.
it's leading. It is leading question now.
Objection. Yep. See, even the
What, if
judge is
anything,
like,
did you do
Elaine,
to
get it
produce
together.
medical
Like, what are you
records to
doing?
The defendant, to the
Come
plaintiff
on.
in this case.
I turned over all of my devices and they had a.
Hello to
the-
anyone who's entered.
Johnny's team had a third party or somebody.
Come
they
into the
selected
chat.
As a third party, go and pull all relevant documents from those devices, which I handed over.
Do you know how many were handed over?
Hundreds of thousands, I believe, maybe.
Objection,
many
Your
more.
Honor. Lack of foundation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
And what, if anything, did you produce to the plaintiff in connection with your consultation with an ENT specialist relating to your nose?
Objection, leading.
Sustain.
What-
Foundation, hearsay.
Everything is going to be objection, objection, objection. Good for Camille. Camille's killing it. And look at her. She's getting aggravated. She's just like, come on, Elaine. Like, get it together. Stop playing these
When
games.
did you see an ENT specialist?
2017 or 2016 or 17.
And as a result of that consultation, what did you learn about your nose?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I'm not asking her to tell what they said.
Another
Sustain the
objection. Oh my God. People need to watch this though. Like more people need to
What, if any,
watch
production
this entire trial
did
because
you make
it's
to
absolutely
the
insane.
plaintiffs of your medical records with the ENT?
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation.
Objection. Objection.
If you only have foundation.
Camille's getting irritated. Elaine,
The
come on.
medical records. From
Does
the
anyone know
ENT
Elaine's
were
last
produced in
name?
discovery
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation calls for speculation.
Elaine is Amber's lawyer.
Thank you.
Yes.
Another objection. Wow.
And do you recall? I'm trying.
I'm
What-
trying.
If anything, did the
Oh my
medical
God.
records reflect about your nose?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection.
She's so bad. Elaine. Oh my God.
Do you have injuries to your nose?
Yes.
Please describe those to the jury.
I have
I'm going to
a bunch of
object
scar
to
tissue.
the, I'm going to object to the extent it calls for hearsay and lack of foundation
Overruled.
and improper expert opinion.
Well,
I guess she can certainly testify too.
we'll see what it is. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
We'll see where it goes.
I have a significant amount of scar tissue.
And there's
Objection,
Amber
Your
again,
Honor.
staring at the
Sustain
jury.
objection.
Okay.
What, if any, difficulty do you have breathing?
Sorry,
Objection,
guys.
leading.
What, if anything? And that does cure them.
But I'll overrule the objection. Thank you.
Do you remember the
I
question?
have a significant amount of
Overruled
trouble
one.
breathing at night, and I've been putting off having surgery for it.
We've got about 20 minutes
Now, you
left
were
in this, but
asked-
I'll try to skip through some of it.
About December 15, 2015. And Ms. Vasquez suggested that you did not report the abuse or the injuries to Aaron Filati. Do you recall that
Objection, Your
question?
Honor, leading.
I'm entitled to go into what Ms. Vasquez
If
said.
objection is leading, I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Did you report, what, if anything, did you report to Aaron Filati about the abuse you sustained on 12/15/2015?
Objection, leading and
You're up.
hearsay.
Approach.
And they are approaching again. This is just, let me see if I can fast forward through some of this because I have a feeling that, yeah, they're going to be up there for quite some time. Come on, come on. Oh, there you go. You see everybody. Oh, there you go, back in their seats. Okay. There we go. We are back.
Did you tell?
Good. I'm glad we get to
Ms.
skip through some of
Filati
it so it won't be
on
as long so we can get to the other stuff.
2015 about the injuries you sustained from the 12/15/2015 attack?
I did. I believe I sent her pictures too.
And did you text with Nurse Filati on 12/16/2015 about the injuries that you had suffered as a result of Mr. Depp's attack on you on 12/15?
Yes, she guided me through a concussion check.
And did you tell?
She keeps staring down the jury. Stop.
about the injuries?
What are you doing?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Another objection.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Elaine is getting so annoyed. Does anyone know
will you
Elaine's last name? I
recall
feel bad
Dr.
because I know
Laurel
Camille.
Anderson
It's Camille
testifying that
Vasquez.
she saw two black eyes on
Objection, Your Honor,
12/17?
leading.
Sustained as to leading.
Another objection.
What, if anything, do you recall from Laurel Anderson's testimony in this case about what she observed on 12/17/2015?
Objection, Your Honor. This is outside the scope of cross-examination.
It's prior consistent
I'm going to
statements.
sustain the
It's
objection.
observations for the 12/17, the same day.
Sustain the objection. Next question.
May I-
Okay.
And they're approaching again. Yeah. That's interesting, I guess. Again, it's just a lot of, let's see if we can fast forward through this, because I think a lot of it's gonna be this. Oh, there they go. Back to their seats.
When
they
in
go.
December did you see Dr. Laurel Anderson?
Objection, lack of foundation.
Overruled.
Another objection.
I saw 2 days after the attack.
So on what day did you see that?
That would have been the 17th of December, 2016, and I told her what happened.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Sustain the objection.
And when did you see Dr. Connell Cowan?
I saw him the next day, December 16th is my best recollection.
Let's jump to East Asia for a moment. And we saw a number of pictures from the backless dress. What, if any, motivation would you have?
If anybody
to
wants to
claim
come
that
up
Mr.
on
Depp
screen to have a
was kneeling on
discussion,
your back, knowing you
please
had a
stick around.
backless dress?
I'm going to drop the link in a
Objection, Your
bit.
Honor.
I think I
Leading
can bring
calls for
this out.
speculation.
Still leading. I'll sustain the objection.
Okay.
Another objection. Sustained.
Why did you say that Mr. Depp was kneeling on your back in East Asia?
In the closet of the hotel room in Tokyo, I said that because it happened to me. And it would have been much more convenient if I was picking it up to not include that detail, knowing I had a backless dress and I walked to press line and got photographed.
Now, we've heard testimony about Mr. Depp making a total of $65 million in 2015 and 2016 from his experts.
Objection, Your Honor.
Why did you-
Leading
I haven't asked the question.
hearsay. I mean,
Why did you not ask for 32.5 million from Mr. Depp?
Camille's like, I mean, come on.
leading.
I said, why did you not ask?
And relevance.
I'll
The
sustain the
explanation.
objection. Sustain the objection to leading. Next question.
Why, can I just ask, why did you not ask for 32.5 million from Mr. Depp?
Because I didn't want
Asked
it.
and answered, relevance.
Oh, overruled. Good.
Because I didn't want it. I realized that that's what I was entitled to, but I didn't want it. That simple.
The tape recording that was played that has you laughing quite a bit. Can you tell the jury what the context of that particular tape recording was?
I don't really recall a whole lot about what was going on. I know we had been fighting kind of ad nauseum and in this sort of loop, if you will. And I'm doing my best to
Sort of
not show
loop,
my
if
pain.
you will.
That's what
Give me a
I
break.
was trying to do. Was trying to be tough. Not show what kind of pain I was in.
Now, Ms. Vasquez asked you about how you got your role in Aquaman. Could you please describe to the jury how you got your role in
Yes.
Aquaman?
I auditioned, not Johnny. I auditioned. I worked really hard, and I went to where we were filming the first movie, Justice League. I went, I think, 5.5 months early before filming commenced, when I heard that they wanted to fire me, and so I put myself in the job.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Sustain.
Keep it away.
worked
what,
really
what they
hard.
said.
I worked really hard.
That
on
is hearsay.
and had to prove myself. And I did that for, even though I was only filming for 6 days, I was there for 6 months. Just worked my butt off.
What
That's
if
why.
What, if any, role did Mr. Depp play in your getting Aquaman?
He tried to have me fired from it.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
All right, I'll sustain his speculation.
How do you know that he tried to have you fired?
Objection,
from?
Your Honor. Calls for speculation and hearsay and lack of
That's the
foundation.
I'm trying to lay a foundation.
All right, if you lay a foundation.
I saw it. I saw the emails. I saw the texts.
I'll sustain the objection as to hearsay. Next question.
Objection
You were asked about
sustained.
Isaac Baruch and why he and that he saw no marks. What is your recollection of your interaction with Isaac Baruch during the week of May 22nd?
I saw Isaac when I was coming or going, meaning I was leaving or arriving to the building. I saw him at a distance. We did not have a in-depth conversation, nor would we.
I see there's a few people here.
And I
Make
told
sure
him
you
actually right
let's
after it happened
make sure you
what was
post a
kind of
comment in the
Objection, Your Honor.
chat,
Hearsay.
the live chat.
I don't think it's offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Okay. Stay away from what was said. Can you just tell us what interaction you had with him and his opportunity to observe you with absolutely no makeup?
Objection,
That's
Your Honor.
impossible.
Leading.
I'll sustain the objection. It's leading.
Please describe for the jury your interaction with Isaac Baruch during the week of May 22nd.
Well, not only did I have makeup on, but I did attempt to kind of let him know what happened.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
You were asked some questions about Officer Melissa Science's testimony. What, if anything, do you recall relating to Officer Melissa Science's testimony relating to your injuries?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Your Honor said I could redirect after the cross-examination. when she-
Oh yeah, this is not going to end without a dramatic back and forth because Camille is just not putting up with anything. I mean, and she's right to object because Elaine's questions are they're just bad. Like, I don't want to say she's a bad lawyer because again, I feel bad saying that. Like, I don't want to judge her just based upon one case or anything like that. But it's like, I don't know. It just seems like she doesn't have it together in the way that she should, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, again, I see there's a few of you here. Make sure let's chat in the live chat. Make sure you like the video, please. Subscribe to the channel. You can help support the channel if you look at the banner down below. There's multiple ways you can do that through Cash App, PayPal. Yeah, that would be amazing. Let me see if I can fast forward. Oh, they're actually back. Here we go.
What, if anything, do you recall of Officer Science's testimony in this case relating to your injuries and the property destruction?
I recall her saying that she didn't feel that the state I was in was enough of an injury to her, or wasn't injury seeming to her.
Okay. And what about the property damage?
She claims she did not see any property damage, but I walked with her over broken glass. So I don't know why she's saying that.
What, if any, interactions did you have with Alejandro Romero during the week of May 22?
I spoke to him briefly.
Objection, Your Honor. To the extent it calls for hearsay.
Overruled at this point. Just spoke to him.
I spoke to him briefly in passing as I was entering, and maybe when I was exiting the building, but always when I was on my way out or in from being outside, meaning makeup. I had makeup on always, as I do.
Why did James Franco visit you on the evening of 5/22/2016?
Objection calls for speculation.
Do you know?
Yes.
Please tell us.
Because he was my friend and he lived next door, quite literally lived next door. And I had frankly exhausted my support network with my usual friends and was happy to welcome as much friendship at that time as I could possibly get.
Now, the video showed him laying his head on your shoulder. Can you describe for the jury what the interaction was, without saying what was said, what the interaction was that led to that?
He, after seeing my face, put his
Objection, Your
head on
Honor.
my
Calls for
shoulder.
speculation.
That doesn't call for speculation. If she sees that he sees her.
He touched the side of my
I'll
face
sustain the
too.
objection.
Yeah, it does call for
Again, Your Honor,
speculation.
instruct the witness.
If you could wait till after the objection, please.
Again, instruct
Next
the
question.
witness to
What
not
did Mr.
talk
Franco
when there's
do,
an objection.
on the elevator before laying
James
his
Franco,
head on
remember
your
that elevator video?
He kind of touched the side of my face and responded to what he saw.
We talked about you were shown a bunch of newspaper headlines, and there was one in particular referring to sexual violence. What, if anything, did Mr. Waldman do to you relating to that article?
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation, calls for speculation.
Objection.
What did he do to her?
Unintelligible. I don't understand the
Well,
question.
Overruled, we'll see where it goes.
He was carrying the paper that had that headline on it that he leaked and threw it at me at the UK trial. We were unfortunately sat kind of actually literally next to one another with COVID spacing in between us. And he threw the paper down at me as he sat down with that on the cover.
And where was that?
In the UK, at the UK trial.
Objection, Your Honor. This is beyond the scope.
That's not beyond the
No,
scope.
overruled.
Thank you. Why did you tweet about the makeup and Mr. Waldman?
Because he was calling me a liar and a hoaxer and that this was an elaborate hoax just to get Johnny.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Objection, another objection. We're getting towards the end, so there's going to be a lot of objections. Look at Elaine.
Next question.
Okay.
She's confused. Oh my.
I don't have any more questions, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you. Ma'am, you can have a seat next to your attorney, okay?
I am dead. I can't. Elaine,
You can
you
go
are
have a seat next
too
to her.
much. Like, oh my God. Wow.
All right,
Elaine.
ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take our afternoon
Elaine,
recess then for 15
seriously?
minutes.
Okay,
Just-
so it's over. Okay. So let's get back on here. And I will start with the camera. Okay. So we just finished up Amber's cross-exam and then redirect. Yeah, we finished it up. Hold on. Sorry guys, I have to fix the mic here because it's being really stupid. Okay. All right. Hopefully that fixes the audio a little bit. So we just finished Amber's cross and redirect. It definitely got a little spicy towards the end because Camille, Johnny's lawyer, was just objecting to everything. And honestly, like Elaine, and again, if anybody knows Elaine's last name, Elaine, who is Amber's attorney, she was just like, she was up there and she was so lost. She had no idea what was going on. Like, I felt kind of bad for her. Like, she was not, yeah, no, she had no clue what was going on. But so, yeah, so that finishes up that portion of what we're going to talk about today. The other thing I wanted to watch with you guys was Ellen Barkin's testimony. I have not seen the entire thing. I know it's actually it's not that long. It's clips and stuff of a deposition she did previously. So I want to watch that with you guys and yeah, just kind of comment and do all of that stuff as we go along. So let's do that. Oh God, which part is this? I think it's this one. Yes, it is this one. Okay, cool. So now you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Now let me move this so that I can see it better as well. And okay. Hi, Turtle Dove. It's nice to see you again. Thank you for coming back. I really appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. So we're about to watch Ellen Barkin. Again, it's not that long. It's clips from a previous deposition that was done, but here we go.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Barkin.
Good morning.
I think the first thing that would be very short but very simple and clean for the record is if you could just describe kind of your career background. I know it's very lengthy, but just give a kind of.
I mean, look, this was done back in 2019.
when you started
That's
working.
crazy. That was a long time ago.
I started acting professionally about 26 or 7. And I did theater, television, movies, lots of them. That's what I did for 40 years.
And in the course of your career acting in theater, television, movies, etc.,
She comes off as very unlikable.
A person by the name
Maybe
of
that's
Depp.
just me, but
Yes.
Can you specify in time, Ms. Barkin, when you met him?
I would say 1990.
And upon or after meeting him, did there come a time when you became friends?
Yes.
And can you describe how that happened?
We just developed a friendship over time that lasted, I guess, if we met in the 90s, maybe 10 years, a little less.
And fair to say that Mr. Depp at the time was also an actor, a professional actor.
Yes.
Were you, did you act in any film, stage, or TV productions with Mr. Depp?
Yes, I was in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
How often would you see Mr. Depp?
When I lived in New York, usually whenever I go to LA, if I were in LA, I'd see him once a week, maybe more. I mean, the friendship went up and down, living on different coasts.
And did there come a time when your friendship with Mr. Depp became more
she
than that?
clearly doesn't like Johnny. Like,
Yes.
you can tell that, and
At
she's
what
just
point in
annoyed.
time
She doesn't
did
want to
your
be
relationship
there.
with Mr. Depp take a romantic turn?
After I had moved to Hollywood, and he, switched the buttons.
Recall what year you moved to Hollywood?
Yes, 1994.
When you say switch the buttons, can you tell me what you meant by that?
The friendship went from a purely platonic friendship to a romantic one.
At that point in 1994, when the relationship turned romantic, to your
Can I
not
change that to sexual?
to sexual.
Thank you.
Ugh, I am dead. Can you change that to sexual? Oh my God.
For how long did your relationship with Mr. Depp remain sexual?
Several months. Anywhere between 3 and 5, 6.
And during that period, how often would you see Mr. Depp? That period when it was sexual.
So I'd see him 3 or 4 times a week.
And again, I'm not looking to pry into private details, but can you tell me like where you would see him? Just give me some sense of that.
Yeah, he would come to my house or I would go to his house.
In both houses in LA?
Yes, about 10-minute drive apart from each other.
And at either when you were at his house,
I
when you
don't
did
get.
stay the night, or when
Maybe
you were
I'll
at his house,
understand
when
it
you did
as
stay
we
the night,
go,
were there
but I
other
don't
people in the
understand why they're
house?
even showing this.
Who would those people be?
He had an assistant. His sister. That's all I can remember now.
Do you recall the name of the assistant?
I don't know his name. He was referred to as Pig,
He was referred to by whom as Pig?
Johnny Depp.
At any point that you were either initially friends and then
He was
sexual
referred
with
to
Mr.
as
Depp,
Pig. By whom?
did you
By
become
Johnny
aware that
Depp.
he,
Oh my God, she hates him.
drank to excess?
I was always aware.
Okay, and can you explain how you were aware of that?
He was drunk all the time, a lot of the time.
And that would apply both to when you were initially friends and then later when it became sexual.
Yeah.
And what was he drunk? What was your understanding? What had he drunk to become drunk?
He was a red wine drinker.
Okay. In addition to alcohol, were you aware at that time?
Amber
that
just
Mr.
looks so happy. And look,
Depp,
again, she's looking at the
was
jury.
taking any prescription medication?
No.
Same question, Mr. Barkin, for illegal substances.
Yes.
Same question. And what illegal substances?
Hallucinogenics, cocaine, marijuana.
Hallucinogenics? Can you say
Is she just
specifically
listing the
those?
drugs
really
that were
know.
done? Like, I'm so confused. They all did drugs back then. Like, hold on. Like, and it goes back to the whole, like, I don't understand why the drugs are continuously brought into this. It's like, all of you were doing drugs, like, at the time. Give me a break. You're not going to tell me that Ellen Barkin, back in the 90s, when she was with Johnny Depp, that she wasn't doing drugs too. Same with Amber. I mean, it's been proven that she does drugs. Like, give me a break here. It's very irritating. I don't know why it makes me so mad, but it's just very irritating that it's constantly the drugs. It's like Amber's side just really wants to hammer in, like, Johnny did drugs. So did all of these people that are talking about it. Just saying.
With respect to any of that, hallucinogenics, cocaine, or marijuana, did he do any of that in your presence?
Yes,
More than once?
all the time.
When you say all the time, how many times, again, in the period that you were both first friends and then sexual with Mr. Depp, do you think you saw him?
I couldn't even tell you. I mean, I just know he was always drinking or smoking a joint.
But would it be fair to say more than at least dozens of times?
Yeah. Over the full course, oh yeah.
Now, did you ever observe, Ms. Barkin, Mr. Depp's behavior change when he drank more or used more drugs?
I did not.
So he was kind of the same all the time, fair to say?
It was not the same. He was high.
Did there come a time, Ms. Barkin, when Mr. Depp acted in a way that was out of control with you?
Yes. Mr. Depp threw a wine bottle across the room, the hotel room on one instance in Las Vegas while we were shooting Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Was something about to happen
A fight was going on.
between you and Mr. Depp?
No.
Who was the fight between?
Between Johnny Depp and his friends in the room, the assistant. Honestly, I don't remember.
And the bottle.
Okay,
Do you remember sitting in front of
and-
the direction whether the bottle was full of wine or empty?
I don't.
Sitting here today, Ms. Barkin, do you remember whether the bottle hit you?
No, it did not.
Did the bottle hit anyone else?
No, it did not.
Approximately how far away from you was Mr. Depp when he threw the bottle?
Across the room, so maybe by that break in the table or a little further down. It was a toss.
And
Rough.
sitting here today, if the bottle had hit you, would it have injured you? Ms. Barkin, was it your understanding back then that he was throwing the bottle at you?
I don't know why he threw the bottle.
And was it, when he threw it, was it in your direction?
Yes.
Were there other people standing around you?
Yes.
So he threw it in your direction at a group of people.
Yes.
Whose hotel room was it?
His Johnny Depp's.
Who broke off?
He did.
How did it come about that Mr. Depp broke off your relationship?
I went to go home. There was a big goodbye, crying, a lot of jealous, and don't do this, don't do that. And I never heard from him again after that.
And did Mr. Depp not want you to go back to Los Angeles at the time?
Yes, he didn't want me to go.
I don't understand. Again, I don't understand why they're even playing this. Like, who cares?
And you just referenced, you just used the word jealous. How did that come up? What did he say that indicated to you that he was jealous?
He's just a jealous man, controlling. Where are you going? Who are you going with? What did you do last night? I had a scratch on my back once that got him very, very angry because he insisted it came from me having sex with a person who wasn't him.
During the time that you were in a sexual relationship with Mr. Depp, was it common for him to say things to you about being controlling, to use your words, or being jealous of you?
Yeah, very common.
And when, in these instances, when Mr. Depp became jealous or controlling, did he also become angry?
Yeah. And demanding.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go and take our afternoon recess. Please do not discuss the case and do not do any outside research, okay? We'll see you back in 15 minutes.
All right, so that's over, I guess. Was that it? Was that all of Ellen Barkin? Yep, that was all of Ellen Barkin. So that's that. All right. So let me turn on the camera here. Okay, so the other thing that I did want to look at today, to kind of round up the quick look back at week 5, and then I'm not sure if we'll do the like Q&A part after that during this video, or if we'll do it like later on tonight, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see, because the next thing I want to watch is Amber Heard's sister, Whitney Rodriguez, I believe. Oh, Enriquez, I believe it is. I did want to watch her testimony and just kind of comment on it as we go. So, all right, let's do that. And then, like I said, we'll see how it goes at the end of that. And yes, now you guys see what I see. And let me move it over here so it all makes sense for me. Why is it over? Okay, stop. Cool. All right. So let's see. All right, cool. So we are going to watch this. I, again, have seen clips. I have seen little things here and there. I have not watched this whole thing. It says it's an hour and 6 minutes. I will try to fast forward through as much as I possibly can. But yeah, here we go.
Will you please state your name for the record?
Whitney Enriquez
And where do you live?
in Glendale, California.
It's Whitney
And you're Amber's
Enriquez.
sister?
I am
How old are you?
34.
So you're her younger sister.
Yes.
Okay. Are you married and do you have any children?
I am. I'm married with 2 small children,
Okay. How old are your children?
a 3-year-old and a newborn. He's just over 2 months old.
What is your profession?
Before the pandemic, I worked in hotels doing various food and beverage management jobs, primarily events as well.
Now I'm going to take you to Mr. Depp and Amber, the early stages. When did you first meet Mr. Depp?
I met him sometime in 2011 for the Rum Diary press tour, but I did not meet him until 2012 as Amber's boyfriend.
And were you living with Amber at the time?
Yes, we had an apartment together on Orange Avenue.
She's so full of
I
it.
split my time between there as
I
well
don't
as
know.
a.
She definitely
an apartment
looks a
I shared with
lot
my
like
boyfriend
Amber.
at
I
the
will
time.
say they definitely have the
Now,
same like
describe your
hair
relationship
type of
with
style
Mr.
where they
Depp
like
in the
that
early
like
stages.
one little
We got along really well
thing
at
that's
first.
hanging down.
He
I don't
was
know.
sober
Who
at
knows
the
what I'm talking
time.
about?
And Johnny, when he's sober, is very bright and beautiful and lovely
Johnny
and
is just
kind and
like,
generous.
oh
He was
my
very easy to get to
God.
know. And frankly, we all fell in love with him at first.
Now, describe your observations of Amber and Mr. Depp's relationship in the early stages.
Again, at first, that was wonderful. They were incredibly in love. I actually, to this day, have never seen my sister fall so madly for somebody. And things were wonderful. They
I'm
seemed to
actually
really
going to
understand
drop
each
the link
other
right
and
now for
get
anybody who
along well,
wants to join in
but very
on
quickly, this pattern emerged.
the screen.
As their
Let's have a
relationship went
discussion.
on,
So I'm
that
going to drop the
if
link
Johnny
now,
was
okay?
using, there almost always was a fight. There was always a bad-
Objection, Your Honor. Cause for speculation, lack of foundation.
As a foundation, if you want to lay a
Okay.
foundation.
What, if any, changes in their relationship did you observe?
that when Johnny was using, there would be a fight. I saw it firsthand.
Objection, Your Honor. Same objection.
Overruled. That's fine.
Thank you. Please continue.
If he was using or if he was drinking, there was almost always a fight. There was always an argument. There was always a period where they weren't getting along, and it seemed to oscillate pretty quickly. He would be sober for a little bit and then almost just as quickly fall off the wagon and start to use or drink, and there would be some big blowout. And it seemed
So
to go
yeah, if
back
you
and
want to come
forth
up,
pretty frequently. There was never an extended period.
just
of
come on
time where
up.
it was one
You
or
don't
the
have
other.
to show your face. You can do avatar.
What, if
Like
any,
I'm on
changes
avatar
did
right
you
now.
observe in Amber
we can
over
just
the
chat.
period of her relationship with Johnny?
At first, Amber was Amber. She was loud, funny. She laughed a lot. She was just this happy, bright, fun-loving thing, always surrounded by friends. And then it was a progression that took over such a long period of time, and it was so slow. In hindsight, it was like watching a slow motion gunshot. She suddenly stopped sleeping as much. She wasn't as funny. She wasn't as loud. She wasn't as gregarious as she used to be. Cut to the end of their relationship, she was so physically unwell. She maybe weighed 100 pounds soaking wet. She was emaciated. She wasn't sleeping. She had developed a heart condition and her eyes were sunken in. She just looked
Objection,
like
Your
two
Honor.
different.
Lack of foundation calls for hearsay.
She's giving her observations.
Well, heart condition, I'll sustain as to heart.
Okay,
condition. Thank you.
other than the heart condition, please continue.
She just, if you were to do a photograph side by side, you would see two very different people. And people that knew her throughout the entirety of their relationships, all the same thing.
What, if any, observations did you make about Mr. Depp exhibiting controlling behavior over the course of their relationship relating to Amber's clothing?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
What, if any, observations
I'll
did she
sustain
make
the
about,
I'll sustain the objection.
what, if any, observations did you make about Mr. Depp's
They have kind of the same like
treatment of Amber
resting
relating to
face a little bit.
At
They look very
first,
much alike.
It would be like light jokes, or, she left the house wearing something like, oh, you're going to wear that, or just some joke. It was very subtle, And then over time, again, just like the progression of their relationship, it just intensified. Then suddenly it's you know, they have the same stylist. He and I forgot her name, but suddenly they have the same stylist, and he had been essentially controlling what she wore to events and things like that. So she went from being able to wear whatever the hell she wanted, and then suddenly she's wearing anything that his stylist wanted her to wear, or wanted him to wear. And her style over time just got more and more conservative.
What, if any, observations did you make about Mr. Depp with respect to Amber's work?
That too was one thing at first. He was saying he was protective over the kinds of jobs she was taking. You know, oh, that's not going to be good for her career. That's not going to be good for this, not going to be good for that. And then suddenly he has a problem with her taking any sort of job or any sort of audition. And then it became every time that she even thought about taking a meeting, it was another fight. He would often say things like, I don't even understand why she needs to work. I'll take care of her. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of everyone else. She doesn't need to work at all. It was one of those things that he was, at the end, vehemently against her working at all.
What, if any, observations did you make about Mr. Depp's treatment of Amber with respect to friends?
Again, these are all things that just very slowly over time just changed. You know, at first, you know, he was very inclusive of all of us. At one point, we all lived downtown together in these beautiful lofts. You know, at first,
Yeah, of course he was
that was part of the
inclusive. He let
relationship,
all of you
was,
live for free
getting to know
in
him and him getting to
penthouses.
know
Like,
us, and then
give me
just,
a break.
again, slowly over time,
Inclusive?
he
Yeah, of
took
course he
issue with
was.
Brandon at one point, and then Brandon wasn't allowed in the fold. Time went on, he had an issue with Io. Io wasn't allowed in the fold anymore. And then at some point, even me, he had accused me of doing something horrendous that I had never done. And then suddenly I'm not allowed around anymore. And just over time, she had such a small network of people that were there to support her. It was hard to watch.
What, if any, observations did you make about Mr. Depp's attitude or treatment of Amber with respect to health, her health?
Amber was
Her
a
health.
pretty healthy person at first. She didn't have any medical issues that, you know, didn't need intervention of any sort. But in one of Johnny's attempts to get sober, he had employed Dr. Kipper, who had these nurses, and he had a personal nurse that would like administer medication, and, you know, I think the intention was to make sure that he stayed clean and
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation.
Without discussing what
Sustain
the
the objection.
intentions were, just go ahead and give us what your observations were with respect to Mr. Depp, with respect to Amber's health.
Sure. All of a sudden, for really unclear reasons, Amber had her own personal nurse just administering medication, and from what I saw, it was strange. I didn't think Amber needed, you know, medication on the daily or whatever. And then all of a sudden she has a therapist that is employed by Dr. Kipper. Even her medical treatment was somehow controlled by or paid for by Johnny.
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation with respect to the control. As to control, but paid for, I'll allow. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. What, if anything, did Mr. Depp say about Amber's electronic devices?
Well, every time they fought or had an argument, a device was going to get smashed. And she lost a phone, a tablet, a computer. You could almost guarantee that something.
Hello, Turtle.
Fought. Very often there were.
How are you?
Fights.
Okay. I'm trying to hear it.
Can you hear it? I just paused it. Are you there? Are you on mute, maybe? I don't know. Turtle. All right, let me continue this while Turtle gets the mic situation figured out.
In part surrounded by text messages or something that he would find on her phones or, you know, whatever. And at some point she wasn't even allowed to have passwords on her phone, or if she did
Turtle,
have a
let me
password, it was
know,
something really simple that
if
can
you need
memorize,
help with
but
the
there was
mic or
zero
anything.
expectation of privacy for her in terms of what was on her device or accessibility
Are
of the
you
devices.
on mute?
How many times did you observe Mr. Depp drunk?
Let me see if I can mute you
I
and then
that
unmute
countless. I mean,
How do
too
I
many
do
times
that?
for me to quantify.
How many times did you observe Mr. Depp high on drugs?
Again, it would be really hard to put a number to that. It was a lot.
And what
I don't-
types of drugs
I don't
did
think I
Mr.
can
Depp
mute
use
you.
to your knowledge and your observation?
Edit mic settings.
Well, I personally, I've
Um,
done cocaine and drank with him on a number of occasions. So that he
I don't
almost
know.
always
That's
had
so
weed
weird.
of some sort, marijuana, like joints or whatever. I have seen him take MDMA on an occasion, shrooms as well. I once saw him consume a Ziploc bag that had a bunch of just unknown pills, some prescription, some not. He just took them all at once to see what would happen, and he laughed about it. Those are what I can recall.
Now, you said
Turtle,
also
so
did
if you try it
cocaine with Mr. Depp,
again,
is that correct?
you
Yes.
actually have to,
What, if
once
any
you get into the
observations did you make as
StreamYard,
to what
you have to
Mr. Depp
close the
carried in his
YouTube
pockets?
part of it. So you have to close whatever YouTube tab
He
that you
always
have open
had.
or anything like
He
that.
always had cigarettes
then
or rolling
it
papers.
should let you in.
When I say cigarettes, I mean the tobacco and rolling papers. He always
Yeah.
had
So if you
a
want to try
joint
that
on
again.
him.
And
If he was
also,
in
hello,
the phase of
Eric.
using
Welcome
coke,
back.
he would carry
Thank you
around
so
a little
much for
pill
coming
box
back.
that had
If you want to
his
come
cocaine
up
in
on
it.
the screen as well, you are
He
more
always had a
than
pocket
welcome.
knife,
So yeah.
a lighter, and yeah, it's about what I can recall.
Okay. What, if any, behavior changes did you observe when Mr. Depp had been drinking alcohol or using drugs?
Like I said, it was, a completely different version. He was almost unrecognizable when he was drinking and using to an excess. If it was alcohol and coke, he would slur. He would go on these paranoid, delusional rants about things that didn't make any sense. His speech would be slurred. I almost never knew him to use cocaine without drinking. Those were generally combined. When he would
And what
smoke
were you
weed,
doing
he
at the
was
time,
much
too?
more
Like,
relaxed. He was kind of what you would expect, happy on a couch, laughing. But when he was drinking, he would just get very angry, and he would just say really nasty, unkind things. And it almost didn't, usually about Amber, sometimes about me, but it almost didn't matter if she was in the room or not. He would just say really horrible, horrible, horrible things about her or to her.
Can you give the jury a few examples that you can recall?
Pardon my language, fucking cunt. He called her a fucking used up trash bag, slimy whore, saggy whore, just.
And what did she call
fucking
him?
cunt
Like,
was thrown out a bunch.
this
Just
testimony
horrible
is
things like
such
that.
BS.
I'm going to take you to March 21st, 2013. We've called it the painting or Keith Richards incident. When did you arrive at the orange apartment?
And again, I want to be clear. Like, I know there are two sides to this, and this was not a perfect relationship by any means at all. And it was just a toxic relationship. But it's like they're talking about, oh, what did he call her? Well, like, she called him things too. But whatever.
On March 21st, 2013.
It was sometime in the afternoon. I came in, and Orange was typically a very neat, clean place. But as soon as I walked in, there was smoke in the air. Remember, it smelled like cigarette smoke, and there was smoke in the air. So somebody had been smoking inside, which was odd because Amber and I don't smoke, and Johnny used to always just go outside to smoke.
I kind of feel like I've seen videos
But
of
walking
them
a little bit
smoking
further
at
in, there
that
was
time.
furniture askew.
Am I
Going
wrong?
into the kitchen, there was, Johnny was sat at our little breakfast nook table that we had there. And he was wearing glasses. He had, there was cocaine in front of him. There was booze in front of him, journal, like no newspaper, things like that, just kind of scattered around at the table. And I sat down to talk to him to see what was going on. And it was really hard to understand what he was getting at. It was really clear that he had been drinking for some time. His speech was slurred. And again, it was really hard.
And
to
were
follow
they
what he was
not
trying to
drinking
tell
at the
me. At first,
time?
he seemed to be upset
Like-
that my sister had been photographed with our friend Marie in France. He then started saying that it must have meant that she was having an affair with her, and everyone would be laughing at her. And this woman, her father was a French politician, so he then starts rambling on about, oh, he knows what her father's up to, and her this, that, and the other. And again, it was just this strange paranoid tailspin is the only way I can describe it. That just, it wasn't true. My sister wasn't having an affair with this person.
Objection, Your Honor. I think it's pretty non-responsive at this point.
All right, next question.
Please-
Sustain the objection.
Please describe what your conversations were and your observations were with Mr. Depp.
So as I'm sitting there talking to him, Amber is in the kitchen, and she's not sat at the table or anything. She's kind of
Guys,
leaning
give me
back,
2
and
seconds. I'll be
Johnny's
right
still
back,
talking to me
but
about
everything will still
what
stay
the
the
problem
same.
was. And then all of a sudden the focus shifts to this painting that has been on the wall ever since Amber and I moved in. And the painting was done by one of my sister's exes. So he was convinced that it was on the wall to taunt him, to tease him, and how disrespectful that he had to wake up next to this painting. And it surely meant that Amber and Tasha were back together again, which of course was not true. But he was then upset about that. He was upset about this painting that was on the wall. I was trying to talk to him, not only to just try to figure out what was going on, but I was trying to get him out of the house because he was already very late for filming this documentary that was being shot at one of his houses.
Was that with Keith Richards?
Correct.
Okay.
That was my understanding of it.
Please continue.
So for hours we sat there. I was trying to, talk to him, make him feel like everything was okay, just try to get him out of the house. His assistant kept coming in and out at one point. And all the while, Amber is just in the kitchen. She's like giving us space, but she's in earshot, and he's saying these things about her. And at one point she tries to come over to like check on him, and she kind of embraces him from behind, and he's just like, fuck off, and continues to say these things about her. And again, we sat there forever, and eventually we did get him to
All right,
leave the
I am
house.
back.
So
In case anyone
he
cares.
insisted that Amber come too, and that if they were going to work it out, she'd have to be there, and they would talk about it at some other point, I guess.
Let me just stop you for a minute. What, if any, injuries did you observe on Amber at that time?
At the time, it was before I had a real understanding of what was going on. It was pretty, I didn't know, frankly. And her face was swollen, but I didn't, and it was kind of red. I thought she had just been crying. And her lip did appear to be cut. But again, that at the time, that wasn't what we were trying to do. It wouldn't have been appropriate to.
And also, again, if you want to join on the
That wasn't my
screen,
focus,
just to
frankly.
chat
My
or
focus was
whatever,
just sitting there trying to figure out
click
what
the
he was
link. It is
upset
the
about
one
and
that
get
is
him out of the
pinned
house.
at the
So how
top
long
of
were
the
you at
chat.
Orange with Mr.
If you
Depp
click
and
that,
Amber
it's really easy
before
to go
he left
into.
to go to the Keith Richards?
Yeah.
A few hours.
So come on up if you'd like.
I couldn't say, maybe around like 4 or 5 hours. It took a minute.
Now, did you accompany Mr. Depp over to the recording, or did you stay?
I did.
And did
Amber-
Amber go too?
Correct. That
Okay.
was part of the condition of him leaving, is that Amber had to go with us.
All right. Well, please describe to the jury what happened next then on your ride over there.
So Amber and Johnny were sitting in the back. I was in the front with Sterling, the driver. And they weren't saying much back there. There was music playing pretty loudly. So I couldn't really hear what was going on back there. But at some point I heard the back door open, or the back window open, and Johnny is holding our dog out the window. And I froze. I was scared because I just remember thinking I knew how inebriated he was, and the dog was very small. I thought if she twitched or if he lost her somehow, she was just going to go out the window. And Amber, of course, was just saying,
Objection, Your Honor.
Not often to prove the truth of the matter asserted, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Don't say what Amber said. Just go ahead and continue with your observations.
He brought the dog back into the car, and he was just laughing, this really scary, loud, like it was almost like a
This is
cackle.
bad
And,
testimony. I don't like it.
He then
It's
made some joke
bad.
about putting her in the microwave. And that was the joke after that, was putting the dog in the microwave.
Okay. So during the year 2013, what, if any, marks did you observe on Amber? Any injuries or signs of markings, anything like that?
Occasionally I'd see bruising, cut lips, split lips, weird marks, burns, or I don't know, on her arm, scratches on her arm, things like that. It was just weird, and it was periodic. It wasn't like a constant thing, but there were injuries to her.
And what, if anything, did you do? Did you ask her about them?
I did at some point confront her and ask her, and she...
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Don't tell
Sustain
us.
the objection.
Okay.
Next question.
Okay. But you did ask her about them?
Yes.
that a yes?
Objection,
Okay.
Your Honor. Same objection.
Next question.
That's
fine.
That's
Objection, Elaine.
All right, I'm
Hello.
going to take you to June 2013, Hicksville. Were you in attendance at that event with Mr. Depp and Amber?
Yes.
Please describe for the jury what you can recall from that event.
So Hicksville is like this, it's this like collection of themed Airstreams. It's like a little, it's in the middle of the desert. It's just like a fun little place to go. So we went with a group of our friends. And yeah, so each one of us had our own little Airstream or whatever. So my partner and I at the time, we got there last. So as we're going around checking out the different Airstreams, because again, each one of them had a different theme. So it was kind of fun to see, who was staying in which theme or whatever. I open Amber and Johnny's, and there's cocaine on the table. And I didn't really think much of it at the time. I was just like, all right, fine. We're all here to have fun. And that
Yeah,
night,
because she was
we sat around the
partaking too.
campfire. Everyone was drinking. Some people were taking shrooms, and then I drank too much, and I went to bed early before everyone else. And then the next day, when everyone was cleaning up, I had heard about something that had happened the night before, and an altercation that...
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Don't tell us what you heard. Go ahead and just tell the jury what you observed.
I observed people cleaning up after what appeared to be just a night of friends hanging out.
Was she not
I then went to
there
my sister's
also hanging
trailer,
out?
where she was staying
Like-
with Johnny, and
Again, I'm
looked like a bomb
confused.
went off
This
in there.
testimony is so
There
weird.
was broken things. Things had been skewed. It just looked incredibly messy. It looked like somebody had ransacked it. That's what I observed.
Okay. Now I'm going to take you to September 2013. What, if anything, did you do with Mr. Depp relating to going to London?
So September 2013, that was around the time of my birthday. Amber was filming in London, and she wasn't able to make it back for my birthday. And it was also a friend of ours.
Yes, I am
Aya, also
smoking
birthday
a
at the same
cigarette.
time, or around the same time as me. And Johnny thought it would be great to load up and surprise Amber on set. He thought she would really enjoy it, and so that's what we did. We loaded up, we went on a plane that he chartered, and I believe my father was with us as well. And yeah, Johnny and I drank and did a lot of cocaine on that plane, and I ended up passing out. But we get to London, and it was wonderful to see Amber, and we had a dinner that night at the hotel that we were staying at, or it was either that night or the next night. I can't remember exactly, but At one point, Johnny picked up a steak knife and he hurled it at his assistant. It missed him, but obviously Nathan got upset and he left, and he was upset as well. And a fight broke out between Amber and Johnny that night. I didn't witness it. I wasn't there. I knew that they
Objection,
were.
Your Honor, lack of foundation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Okay,
Next
so,
question.
so you can't tell us about it if you weren't there. So
Okay.
what happened next that you were aware of?
I left sometime after that, and when I touched down in Los Angeles, I learned that they had
Objection, Your Honor.
Not offered to prove the truth of the
I'll
matter,
sustain
Your
the
Honor.
objection. Next question.
When did they get engaged?
They got engaged at some point when I was on the plane. After I left London, by the time I landed in London, they were engaged.
Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to jump all the way to November 2014, the 2014 Hollywood Film Awards. What, if any, involvement did you have with Mr. Depp relating to the Hollywood Film Awards?
I was called over to where he was getting ready, 80.
And when you say 80, are we talking about Sweetser?
Yes, that's one of the houses that is on that street that Johnny had. He had several houses on that street. 80 was the one that he referred to as like the man cave. That's where he spent a lot of time. So I was summoned to 80, again, following a fight that he and my sister were having. And
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation.
I
Just go on, just don't talk about.
I take that back.
you
I wrote that she
are
seems
to.
believable.
You
I
got there.
I don't know.
Please tell the jury.
Maybe this is all
Please tell the jury what
scripted
you
and
observed, what happened when
Sure.
you were there.
pre-rehearsed.
when I got there, Johnny
Yeah.
was outside and he was very drunk already, and he was continuing to drink. He was again rambling about my sister having affairs with people that it just wasn't true, and just kept saying things. It was, that she doesn't need to work, and he doesn't understand why she continues to take jobs. She must be doing it to insult him or to hurt him, or she's only taking these jobs because she wants to meet people. I don't know. The entire time that we were talking, his sister and his assistants at one point, everyone was trying to get him out of the house because he was already very late for this. But eventually they did get him to leave the house. And yeah, I saw the award show later at some point.
And what did you observe when you watched the award show?
Unfortunately, an extension of what I had seen at the house. He was still very drunk, actually a little bit more drunk than when I saw him at the house.
And what was he doing that caused you to believe he was very drunk?
Well, he was drinking the entire time that we were talking. And, in general, at this point, I had understood what Johnny looks like when he's drunk. He's stammering. His speech was hard to understand. He was slurring. He was super unsteady on his feet. I recognize what he looks like when he's drunk.
Okay. Now I'm going to take you to March 23rd, 2015. And at this time, were you living at the penthouse suites?
I was.
Okay.
Excuse me. Sorry.
When approximately did you move into the penthouse suites?
I actually don't know for sure when I moved in. I would take me a minute to remember. It was sometime in 2000. I don't know, 14, I think.
Okay. And so as of March 23rd, 2015, you're living there, correct?
Yes.
And where are you living in those penthouse suites? What is it called?
So I was in what they call PH4. The layout is, the entire top floor of this building. Johnny owns the mall, and he was kind enough to let us all live there. So I was in PH4. Amber and Johnny were in PH3. I believe Isaac was in 2, and Rocky and Josh were in 1. But the only ones that actually connected were 3, 4, and 5. So again, I was kind of sandwiched between where Johnny and Amber stayed, and Amber's basically closet. So basically you had to cut through to get to one point to the other. So I was sleeping. I woke up to Amber in my bedroom saying, "Can you believe he's cheating on me?"
Objection, Your Honor.
You're not offered to prove the truth of the matter
Over-
asserted. Thank you.
overruled. Go
Thank
ahead.
you. Please continue.
This
She said
is
something?
such BS.
No, she said overruled. It's okay for you to say what.
Oh,
just
sorry.
Just briefly what
oh.
you just explained.
I woke
I
up
will
with her
say she
saying,
does
"Can you
seem
believe he's cheating
nervous.
on me? Your fucking brother is cheating on me." I got up. I told her to stay right there.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
It's not offered to prove the truth of the matter
That's
asserted.
overruled for that statement. Go ahead.
Please continue.
I instructed her to stay in my apartment while I go and talk to Johnny. So I leave PH4. I leave her in PH4.
And let me just stop. Are you sober, drunk? Have you been drinking?
Oh, rare occasions where I was sober. It was in the middle of the night. I was asleep.
Oh, rare occasions was I sober. I cannot like. Yeah. That is I. Oh, on rare occasions was I sober. That right there throws out her entire testimony. Like what? What? That right there literally throws out anything and everything that she has said prior to this and that she is going to say after this. We're going to continue watching it because I do want to see what else she has to say, but that right there throws everything out. She just pretty much told them she was rarely ever sober. So she just admitted to being messed up just like everybody else during all these situations. So your testimony is BS, but whatever. Let's keep going.
So I'm sorry, I'm not sure that I understood your question. So you were sober?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Please continue.
So I go to PH5 where
Oh, now she was
Amber,
sober.
I'm sorry,
Absolutely.
Johnny,
Yes. Give me a break.
Debbie and Travis were all standing in the kitchen of PH5. I went down there to talk to him, and again, I can tell he's clearly drunk, and he has a bottle of alcohol of some sort in front of him as well. And again, he's talking to me about how Amber found these text messages between him and a woman called Rochelle. And then he starts saying that this woman was meaningless. It wasn't anything special. She's nothing special. But then he immediately shifted to, well, Amber pushed me. Amber made me do it. And of course I'm cheating on her, whatever. And it suddenly became about Amber making him do it. At some point, then Amber is on the mezzanine level of PH5. So it's kind of hard to explain. So the kitchen's down here and the mezzanine's up here. So she's there. It's her little office nook, and she starts shouting at him, saying,
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
It's not offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted, Your Honor. She's screaming expletives at him. I mean, that's not offered
All
to
right.
prove the truth.
Overruled.
Thank you. Please continue.
they're saying horrible things to one another. Fuck you. He's calling her a fucking whore, fucking cunt, used up trash bag, whatever. They were saying horrible things to one another. She was calling him old and fat. It was a fight. They were saying really nasty
Okay,
things
well,
to
I
one
guess
another.
I'll give
I
her
leave
a
them in the
point or
kitchen,
two
go
for
up the
at least
stairs,
saying
trying to
that
calm
Amber was
down,
saying
hopefully
shit
get
too.
her back into my apartment, and Debbie had come up with me.
And Debbie, who's Debbie?
Debbie was his nurse at the
Debbie
time.
Lloyd?
Yes, I believe that was her name.
Okay.
So we're with Amber on the mezzanine level.
I'm sorry, just so we know who where is. Is it you and Debbie that are with Amber, or is it?
Yes, Debbie, Amber, and I are all in the little mezzanine area. And as I mentioned, the mezzanine overlooks the kitchen and the living room. So Johnny then hurls a Red Bull can and it hits Debbie in the back. She didn't even react. She didn't really seem to notice. But I'm standing up there talking. I'm standing up there. I'm at the top of the stairs with my back to the stairs. And that's when Johnny runs up the stairs. And I'm facing Amber. He comes up behind me, strikes me in the back, kind of just somewhere over here. He strikes me in the back. I hear Amber shout, "Don't hit my fucking sister." She smacks him, lands one, and then he grabs, at that point, that's when Travis runs up the stairs after Amber landed one. But by that time, Johnny had already grabbed Amber by the hair with one hand and was whacking her repeatedly in the face with the other as I was standing there. Travis pulls them apart. I get Amber into mine. I close the doors behind me and lock them. I then hear John.
Okay, what just happened? What is this? What? Oh,
Michelle, can you bring up Defendant's Exhibit 4?
sorry about that, guys.
Whitney, do you recognize this text exchange here?
I do.
Okay, and it's on March 23, 2015 at 6:57, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, could you describe, just
Objection. Your Honor.
identify it, please?
Yep, sorry, on hearsay grounds. All right, you want to approach? I'll just take a look.
And again, more quiet time in court. So much of this happens. I hate this shit. Like, I wish we could just fast forward, which we can.
Lead up to the bedroom area.
And you took this picture?
I did.
Okay. Michelle, can you scroll up again? And please describe for the jury what's depicted in this photo.
These are more of Amber's racks. These were her shoes and purses and such. Those were all like taken off the walls. And you can see here all of her clothes are on the floor, her shoes.
Okay, thank you. And we're up to the next one. Could you please describe what the next picture depicts?
More of the same, clothing racks that have been kind of toppled over or moved. They were like neat. It looked like it's a closet room, but these ones were just toppled over or moved. This is the room that adjoined my room. So.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. And could you describe for the jury, please, what this is?
That's another clothing rack that has been taken down and taken apart, kind of.
Okay. And we'll go to the next one. And please describe for the jury what's depicted here.
Just more clothing racks that have been taken down, moved.
Okay. And please describe for the jury what's depicted here.
Same thing, just more clothing racks that were toppled over.
All right. And we go to the next one.
And this is the kitchen area. This is the taken from the mezzanine level that I was describing earlier, but that looks like broken glass or something, blue ceramic, broken.
Okay. And if we go up, and the top one there looks like part of what was earlier. Let's go to the bottom one. I think we have a bigger picture there. Does that help with
Yes.
what's depicted there?
I still can't tell what it was, maybe a plate of some sort, but there's also a rolled cigarette, a couple bottles of water. But yeah, whatever that blue thing is, it was broken. That's what's all over the kitchen there and also next to the stove.
Okay. Thank you. After the staircase incident, What, if anything, did Mr. Depp ask you to sign?
There was an NDA on my kitchen table.
Can you tell the jury what an NDA is?
It's a non-disclosure agreement. It's basically, my understanding is it's a contract to keep things private, to keep your mouth shut, essentially.
All right. And you were given one or asked to sign one?
I was asked to sign one. I don't believe I signed it. I left sometime after.
So you moved out after that?
It was after this point that Johnny had accused me of selling stories to the media, which were absolutely untrue, but I moved out after that point.
Okay. Now, did there come a time that Amber asked you to move back in?
Yes, February 2016, she texted me asking me to come back.
Okay. And so you were living with her from sometime in February 2016 forward?
I think on and off. I think I had my own apartment by then, but I spent a lot more time at the Eastern after that.
Okay. I'm going to take you to April 21, 2016, Amber's 30th birthday party. Were you present for that?
I was.
Can you please describe to the jury what you observed that night?
It was her 30th birthday, so we wanted to make it, really special. We had made this beautiful dinner, and it was great. All of her close friends were there, and everyone was having a really good time. Everyone was having fun. Johnny showed up very, very late, and he was drunk when he showed up. Amber was obviously upset about it, but there came a time in the party where we all went around the table and said our favorite thing about Amber, just funny memories or whatever. When it came to Johnny's turn, he told this story about how they first met when they met for the Rum Diary. So, he had this story about how she came in to his office and she sat on the couch and her perfect ass left a perfect imprint on the couch, and he wouldn't let anyone sit there after she left that day. And it was one of those stories that everyone was kind of embarrassed. We had all gone around the table saying really nice things about her, and gets to him and he's talking about her ass. We were all kind of embarrassed.
And when did you leave the party that night?
I left pretty shortly after that.
Okay.
And I went home.
What, if any, conversation did you have with Mr. Depp about his plans to attend Coachella the next day?
He was planning on coming to Coachella with us. Whenever at some point we were talking about what was happening the next day. And so that night he told us he was going to come to Coachella with us the next day.
Okay. And did he ultimately come to Coachella with you the next day?
Nope.
Okay. I'm going to jump forward to talk about some statements that were made, the counterclaim. What, if any, observations did you make about how the statements, we're talking about the three statements that we're quoting Adam Waldman, impacted Amber? And I'm asking for your observations. Just tell the jury what your observations were of how these statements impacted Amber.
Objection, Your Honor. Compound, lack of foundation, speculation.
Overruled, that's fine. Thank you.
Amber has worked so hard to overcome everything that she went through in the duration of their relationship. She has really, really tried her best to move past it. And anybody that knows Amber at all knows that some of the most important things to her are honesty, integrity. Her reputation is all she has. She doesn't have piles of money and private islands or.
Objection, Your Honor. It's non-responsive.
Sustain the objection.
Okay, she doesn't have piles of money and like,
She was
what does that
devastated
mean?
by these.
Oh, there's Amber.
To say that
Oh, we're
they're not
seeing
true,
Amber now.
It devastated her. And also I
I will say she definitely looks good this day
so
in court. She
Amber-
does. You can tell she
started
has more
having
makeup
panic
on.
attacks randomly. She was not sleeping.
She looks
Objection,
good.
Your Honor,
She looks
hearsay.
good this day.
These are your
Over-
observations.
over-
Thank you. Please continue.
These statements devastated her. They devastated her because they weren't true, and they were just very, very, very much affecting her.
And you talked about panic attacks. What else did you observe that she would do as a result of these? Physical.
She would just like periodically just break into tears. She I don't know how else to describe it. She was so unwell. She stopped sleeping again. She was
She was
super
so
anxious.
unwell.
She couldn't,
Okay,
she couldn't
we're
relax. She couldn't sit still. It was very
we're
similar
an
to
hour
the
and
Amber that I
46
had
minutes
seen
into this
back in
live.
2016
So let
as
me
she was
just
trying to
kind
get
of
out of
fast forward a little bit and just see what's.
When you arrived.
That was my understanding.
And you said she had a puffy face.
Yes.
And despite all of that, you decided it was a good idea to do cocaine with Mr. Depp at that
I
juncture?
hadn't yet connected the dots. I hadn't yet understood. What
Yeah,
that
you were
meant
doing
and
drugs
what
the
that would do.
entire time.
That
Give
was
me
a
a
yes.
break.
Yes, you took
Stop.
cocaine with
Oh
Mr.
my
Depp.
God.
I did.
Some
Yes,
of this
I
stuff
already
is
said that.
so frustrating because you just like, hold on. You want, like, you want the jury to know, like, all of this stuff that we know online that they don't know and that they're not allowed to know. And it's like, there's so much evidence that is out there that if the jury knew about all this evidence, it would be a no-brainer. It would be like, Amber Heard, you are guilty. But not all of this evidence is being allowed to be put into court. So it makes it very, very difficult. It makes it very difficult. And it also makes it really frustrating as a viewer, to be quite honest. Like that it is very frustrating. Just saying. So let's get back to it. Sorry for my little rant there. No, it is bullshit, Eric. It is. It is, because it's like, and I get it. I get it. Like, Johnny Depp has already won in the court of public opinion. Like, things are like, the tide has changed. People are more in his favor. He's won in that capacity, but it's like, it is so frustrating knowing that there's so much evidence out there that was not put into court, that's not going to ever be put into court, that if the jury heard and saw all this evidence that we see online, it would be a no-brainer. It would be a no-brainer. And that is the most frustrating part as a viewer of this trial. It's just like, ugh. But okay.
You testified that you had suspicions that Mr. Depp was allegedly hitting your sister by some point in 2013, right?
Suspicions.
And notwithstanding that, in June 2013, you were actually joking with Mr. Depp about hitting your sister, right?
Regrettably, over a text message, yes.
You were encouraging him to hit her.
I was not literally encouraging him.
Regrettably.
joking about it.
Okay.
Regrettably, yes. Again, I did not have an understanding fully of what that was. I never would have said that now, knowing what I know.
But that was around the time that you allegedly became aware that he was,
I don't
there were
know.
injuries on your sister that caused you to have suspicions.
I don't know if it was around the same time.
Turning to the staircase incident in March 2015, you testified that Mr. Depp allegedly hit you during that incident, right?
Yes.
But you aren't sure if that contact was even meant for you, right?
I honestly don't. I don't know what he was aiming for. My back was to him.
And you weren't injured during that incident, right?
No, I wasn't.
And you didn't seek medical attention?
No,
And you said Debbie Lloyd was there during all of that, correct?
she was.
And Mr. Depp's security, Travis McGivern, was there too?
Yes, he was.
And you saw your sister hit Mr. Depp on the stairs that day, right?
After he struck me, yes.
You said she landed one, right? And then the next day you found some damage in the adjoining penthouse.
Correct.
And we saw some pictures of what you saw that day, right?
Yes.
You thought it was important to document that damage, right?
Not to document. It was Kevin's job to kind of clean up the houses, take care of the houses. I took pictures just so he could be aware of what he would need to bring. I didn't know if he had tools here or whatever. I was just preparing him for what he was going to have to fix.
But you didn't take any pictures of your sister that day, right?
No, I didn't.
Now, after March 2015, you continued to have a close relationship with Mr. Depp, right?
Yes,
And you still loved him,
of course.
and you were there for him if he needed you, right?
You still
course.
loved them, of course.
And
Of
in fact, just a
course.
couple of weeks after that staircase incident, you were still acting as the marriage counselor, weren't you?
At some point, sure.
And that fall, after the staircase incident, October 2015, you claim you had seen Mr. Depp hitting your sister. And then in October 2015, you were actually still trying to reconcile him and your sister when they were fighting, right?
Yes, I was asked to support. I was just trying to help what I thought they both wanted. I was just trying to support, or trying my best to support them the way that I thought I could.
You still loved Mr. Depp at that point, right?
I did.
And you didn't think that he and your sister were past the point of no return, right?
It was irrelevant at that point. I really, those two were in love and they were working very hard. They wanted to be together, it seemed like. So I just helped as best as I could. I don't know how else to describe it.
Your sister still wanted to be with Mr. Depp, right?
And she loved him.
And you didn't think they were past the point of no return.
I don't know what you mean by that exactly.
Okay. Let's take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 1283. It's not yet in evidence. We'll just show that to the witness. I've got this, if I might approach, Your Honor, I have this in redacted and unredacted.
Okay.
You want to come forward?
And more quiet time in court. Let's see if we can fast forward through some of this. Oh. Okay. They're going back.
Pull up 1283. Ms. Enriquez, if I could just direct your attention, if we can go to the third page, please.
Do I have control of this or no?
No, you do not. Sorry,
Oh, okay.
we'll put it up for you. And we can go back to the first page if you'd like, or we can take a look at the unredacted version if we need to. But do you recognize these as text messages that you sent to Mr. Depp on October 2nd, 2015?
Yeah, vaguely. I mean, they're clearly my text messages, but yeah, I recognize them, I think.
Okay. And if we can go to the third page, please, Tom. And you'll see the second blue box from the bottom there. You texted Mr. Depp and you said, I love both of you so much and would fucking stay out of it if I thought this shit were past the point of no return. But that's not where you guys are right now. Did I read that right?
Oh, but that's not where you guys are at. Yes.
So you
Yeah,
didn't think
Eric,
they
I
were past the
mean,
point of no return in October 2015,
I
right?
definitely get what you're saying. I get where you're
Really,
coming from.
didn't-
Honestly, I mean, You don't have to, but like if you want to come up and just share your thoughts, that would be kind of cool. Just saying.
You wanted Ms. Heard to stay with Mr. Depp even after you allegedly saw him hit her, right?
That's really oversimplifying something that's far from simple. Again, Amber was very much in love. So was Johnny. She's telling me that she wants something. Whether or not I agreed to it or not, whether or not I was okay with what was happening, it wasn't my place. If my sister said that she still wanted to be with Johnny and if I could help with that in any way, I was going to support her. I was going to be there for her to support that.
Yeah, you didn't want to contradict your sister, right?
Pardon?
You didn't want to contradict your sister.
I don't know if I'd characterize it that way. I was trying to support my sister the best that I could or knew how or thought she wanted.
And you say you wanted to protect her though, right?
At that point, I don't know if I would categorize it as that. I was just trying to support my sister.
You went to Coachella with your sister for her 30th birthday in 2016, right?
Yes.
And you testified that you were aware, I believe that she and Mr. Depp had fought the night before.
You could turn your microphone on, Ms. Bretterhoff. Okay, withdrawn.
There's Amber again. And again,
Yes,
she
I
does
was aware
look
that
good
they had
this
argued
day.
the
She
night
really
before.
does. Like,
You didn't see any bruises.
She definitely,
Ms. Heard at
like,
Coachella that year though, right?
had
She's
hair
wearing
and
a lot of
makeup
makeup.
done,
You
and
didn't see any marks on her?
she looks good. I'll give that to her.
Not that I can recall.
Didn't notice any swelling, right?
To the best of my recollection, I don't.
And your sister didn't have a working phone on her that day, did she?
No, she didn't.
But you did?
Yes, it did.
And you wanted Mr. Depp to know that Ms. Heard's phone wasn't working, right?
I believe I reached out to him for her. Yeah.
And you were encouraging him to reach out to her through you if he was trying to reach her, right?
I believe so at one point. Yes.
You didn't want him to think that he was ignoring her.
I'm sorry?
You didn't want him to think that he was ignoring her, right?
Sure.
And you wanted them to reconcile, didn't you?
If you are watching, don't forget to hit that like button. Please share. Please subscribe. Do all that good stuff. I really appreciate it.
You know, they fought, they got back together. They fought, they loved each other. They hated each other, they loved each other. I just remember her wanting Johnny to come to Coachella at some point. I wasn't trying to reconcile them. I was just trying to help facilitate.
And you did that.
Amber again, and she does. Again, she does look good on this day.
At least 2013. And during
I gotta give that to her.
Right?
Again, that's really oversimplifying something. We all saw this. We all thought that we would see Johnny on the other end of this. Because again, when he was sober, things were wonderful. When he wasn't sober, they were terrible, sure, but we all thought that he was just going to get better. We all wanted to just see the other side of that. So yes, sure, if you look at it simply, but it's not simple at all. I don't know how else to answer it.
And this was after you allegedly saw him hit her, right?
Yes.
And you knew that they had just had another fight, right?
Yes.
You know who Jennifer Howell is, right, Ms. Enriquez?
I do.
She's the founder of the Art of Elysium nonprofit.
She is.
And you worked there for a time, didn't you?
I did.
Around May 2015, you actually moved in with Ms. Howell, right?
May 2015?
15?
Yes.
And you moved out of the penthouses because at that point
She's not like a hostile witness or anything like that. It's
yeah,
just
around the
really
time that, he had accused
dull.
me of leaking stories.
And again, all of her
And you
testimony
testified
is
earlier, I
crap
think, that he had
after
asked you to sign
she
an
said what
NDA,
she said
right?
earlier.
At some
So
point.
And that was around the same time that he was concerned you were leaking stories about their wedding to the media.
I believe so.
You and Ms. Howell were close,
We were.
close enough that you lived with her for around a year.
I don't recall if it was that long.
And you confided in Ms. Howell, right?
About some things, yes. She was my friend.
You called her your chosen sister.
She was my
Visitor
friend.
guest,
I'm so over this. Let's see.
outside.
All right, that is over. So let's close that. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this live stream of the Pop Culture Blabber YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed it. I wish some of you guys would come up on the screen. I would love to have conversations and go back and forth and do all that stuff. But maybe next time, maybe I'll do a live tonight, later on tonight. Maybe not. We'll see. But have a good one for now. Until next time, I'll see you guys. And